So the culture that I'm a part of and that I'm going to present today is Islam. Islam is a religion that I follow, making me a Muslim. Just like a person that follows Christianity would be called a Christian, a person that follows Islam would be called a Muslim. I've been a Muslim my entire life. I grew up a Muslim. Islam has been the only religion that I've ever really known. I've studied other religions, but Islam has kind of just always been the religion that I believed in. It's not that I believe that other religions are wrong. It's just that I follow Islam more. It's a part of me, and it's a part of my identity, and Islam is just a part of who I am. Basically, in Islam, we believe that there are angels and there's demons and there's a heaven and there's a hell, just like any other religion. It preaches peace, kindness, modesty. But in Islam, we believe that there is only one God. He has no partners, no family members, no sons, no daughters. God is just this great big thing that everything follows. And angels are the ones that write things down for him, and he also has prophets that he sent down. And these prophets are the people that represent Islam in many different ways. For example, there's Adam. Like Adam and Eve, there's Adam. Adam was a prophet. He was actually the first prophet, and he was the one that the first person on earth. So he's that prophet. And then there's Prophet Isa, but in Christianity is known as Jesus. So in Christianity, Jesus is known as the Son of God, but in Islam, Jesus is actually a prophet, and we call him Isa, Prophet Isa. So in Islam, there's differences in these religions, in these two religions. And then there's Prophet Muhammad, which was the last prophet of Islam. He was actually known as the messenger of Islam. He's the one that God delivered down to earth and said, hey, spread the word on Islam. Islam is a religion. It's this peaceful religion. It's about love and kindness, and so spread the word and have people follow you. But he's a lot of people mistaken Muhammad as maybe the son of God too. He's kind of like Jesus, where he's the son of God, but he's not. In Islam, he's just a prophet. So yeah, Islam is a culture because Islam is kind of like this really big umbrella, and under this umbrella there are different subcultures. For example, there are Asian Muslims, there are Mexican Muslims, there are white Muslims, there are black Muslims, there are gay Muslims, there are lesbian Muslims. There are so many different types of Muslims out there, and that's what makes it intercultural, is that there are different types of people, but we all believe in one big thing. We all share the same values, share the same beliefs. And even though we're all different, and even though we all kind of have our own personal values, we all still believe in Islam. And in Islam, there are also different branches of Muslims. There are different kind of Muslims. For example, there are Sunni Muslims and there are Shiite Muslims. Shiite and Sunni Muslims are different because even though they believe in one God and they believe in the same prophets, they believe that these prophets represent something else. For example, Sunni Muslims believe that there are 25 prophets and the last prophet is Prophet Muhammad. But Shiite Muslims believe that there are 6 prophets, and even though Prophet Muhammad was a prophet, he wasn't the last prophet. And so that's what makes Islam this big umbrella, is even though all of us believe in kind of this one big thing, we all are different and we all have our separate beliefs, kind of. So yeah, the artifact that I'm going to share today is the Quran. The Quran is our holy book. It's kind of like our Bible. It's inside of it are stories. There are stories about the prophets, the stories about what the prophets went through, about their times, about their struggles, about their victories, and it's supposed to help guide us through life, through our own struggles and through our own victories. For example, if I was going through a hard time with my family, I could turn to one of the stories about a prophet and his family and relate to it that way, and the story would kind of guide me, and it would kind of give me this kind of like advice. Like it would tell me that I should calm down, or that I should turn away from the anger and be happy and talk to my family members anyway. Like that's what the Quran is basically here for. It's to guide us through Islam, to guide us through our faith and through life, and even through our victories. Like if I bought my first house, like I could turn to a story that would be about a prophet's victory and how he celebrated that and how he stayed humble. And so that's how I should treat my victory, is to stay humble. The Quran has a lot of stories, a lot of different types of stories. There's also a story about a person believing in something and another person believing in something else. So it's kind of confusing because it's like the story is kind of like back and forth, but basically there's a verse in there that says, let you believe what you believe and let them believe what they believe in. It's basically kind of saying, mind your own business and just let it be, and you can believe what you want to believe and let them believe what they want to believe, and that's okay. And that's the kind of thing that Islam preaches, and that's the kind of thing that the Quran teaches us, is that to be good Muslims, we kind of just have to be ourselves. It's all about our own intentions. So yeah, the cool thing about the Quran is that there's only one Quran. So the Quran is only written in one way. But even though it's written in one way, there are different translations of it. So, for example, it's written in Arabic. So the Quran is written in Arabic. But if you don't know how to read Arabic, there are so many translations. Like this is a translation in English. This Quran translates to English. So if I didn't know how to read Arabic, I could just read the English side and it would be the same thing. But it's like that for many different kind of languages. For example, I've seen a Chinese Quran. I've seen a Quran written in Chinese. So it's like, if you don't know how to read Arabic, if you're a Muslim and you don't know how to read Arabic, that's okay. Like they have it in your language. So yeah, the main language in Islam is Arabic, because Islam was born in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, they speak Arabic, so that's why it is written in Arabic, and that's basically the basic language of Islam is Arabic. And I think it's really cool because even if you don't know how to speak Arabic, there are certain universal Arabic words that all Muslims know. For example, how Muslims greet each other. If I saw another Muslim, I would say Assalamu alaikum, which in Arabic means peace be upon you. And so it's kind of like blessing the other person with peace. And then in response, the other person would say wa alaikum assalam, which basically means peace be upon you too, and blessing the other person with peace. And so it's kind of like this universal thing. And even though I don't know how to speak Arabic, because personally I don't know how to speak Arabic, I can read Arabic and I can understand some of it and I can write it, but I'm not fluent in Arabic. So as a person who doesn't fluently speak Arabic, I know what the other person is saying when they say Assalamu alaikum to me, because it's this universal greeting. It's this universal word that everyone knows, that all Muslims know. Also, when we eat, we say Bismillah, which is we're kind of blessing our food. And it's like all Muslims know that. All Muslims know to say Bismillah before they eat, because that's, even if they don't know Arabic, that's how we bless our food. So yeah. Some stereotypes that I would like to break about Islam, because Islam there are a lot of negative stereotypes about Islam, or just wrong, not even bad, but just wrong stereotypes about Islam. One of them is that all Muslims are terrorists. After 9/11, a lot of Muslims were attacked. I personally, I was only a kindergartner when 9/11 happened, and I already had people hating me. I already had hate crimes done against me at 5 years old. That's how serious it was. But at that age, I didn't even know what was going on. I just knew that there was a war and that people hated me, and I didn't know why. Which is, it hurts, because Islam, it literally means peace. Islam comes from the Arabic root word salam, which means peace. That's why we say assalamu alaikum, which is peace be upon you. Islam comes from the root word salam, which means peace. So Islam literally means peace. So how could a religion that means peace, that speaks of peace, encourage violence? It doesn't make any sense. And people wouldn't know that, because a lot of outsiders, they turn to the media instead of actually talking to a Muslim, instead of actually reading a Quran, or instead of actually doing their own research. They turn to the media and they listen to what the media says, and the media only says negative things about Islam. So of course, a person who doesn't know Islam is going to automatically think negative things about it. And it's sad. It's sad, and it's kind of insulting. Like, I wish people would come and talk to me instead of automatically assume that I'm a terrible person. Another thing that people assume, or that is a stereotype, is that Muslims don't live in America, or they don't grow up in America. But it's not true. I'm an American Asian Muslim. I'm an Asian American Muslim. Like, I was born in America. I'm Asian and I'm a Muslim. Like, I've had people come up to me and tell me to go back to my country, and I don't even know how to respond. My only response is, how do I go back to my own country when I live in my country? And that's another negative stereotype, is that people don't believe that Muslims actually live here, or they don't actually grow up here. But I grew up in America as a Muslim. Another negative stereotype is that Muslim women are oppressed, that we're forced to wear the hijab, that we're forced to wear the headscarf, but we're not. For example, I choose to wear the hijab. There are a lot of family members, my own personal family members, who don't wear the hijab, and that's their choice. And it's my choice to wear the hijab, because I like to wear my religion as my identity. Like, Islam is a part of me, so I wear it on my head. Like, that's how I like to represent myself. But some Muslims don't, and that's okay. Some Muslims cover their faces and they wear the long abayas, which is the long black dress. They choose to wear that, but I don't. I choose to show my modesty through wearing jeans and a sweatshirt and my scarf. And it's all about intention. It's all about what each individual Muslim believes in. It's not about men forcing us to do it, or God forcing us to do it. It's about us choosing to do it. And so, yeah, and I would just like to say that if anyone has any questions about Islam, or if anyone has any questions about being a Muslim or anything like that, or about the Quran, or about any stereotype, like, talk to me, ask me questions, because I like to answer questions. There are no such things as stupid questions, because I've had people ask me if I shower with my scarf on, which I don't, but I've had that question so often, and it's not a stupid question. You're curious, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to be curious. So yeah, I hope I did good. Thanks for watching.